everyone, here's a new tutorial about our newest feature, batch render. So batch render lets you generate multiple renders at once with just one click. So it's especially useful for when, example, you want to create a packshot render or a specific render for your entire product range. So to do that, I'm starting from a blank scene where I've added a podium for my product packshots. So here I used the silver base, but I could also just as easily start from an existing template if I wanted to. So here in the settings, here at the bottom, you can see a new button and it's called batch, which basically lets you generate multiple visuals in just one click. So to enable this feature, I'm gonna click on it. And from here, I need to choose the product that will be swapped out with the other products. So in my scene right now, I have two elements. I have the podium and I have my cream tube. So I'm selecting the cream tube and that's the item that will be replaced each time. Then I can go into my product library and choose the products that will be swapped in. So in this case, the full Pure Vaskin range from this product. So I can click either on them or drag and drop the product. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. This basically lets me select all the products I want to generate renders for across my whole range. And for some products, like this one in particular, you can see it says out of frame, which basically means that the product is outside the frame and it's gonna get cut off. So you can see it here clearly. If I generate this visual, part of the product is gonna be cropped. So I can select the product itself, and over here on the right, I'll be able to adjust the settings. For example, this one is too big, so I can reduce the product size here, but I can also rotate it, I can tilt it, and so on. I can really customize everything exactly how I want it, and you can do that for each individual render. So that said, I do recommend positioning your original product properly from the start. So all you basically have to do is click on the product, but if later you decide that you want to change the orientation, you still can, no worries. So if I click on this product, I can change the rotation, and if I want to apply the same rotation to another object, I can simply just copy and paste the value linked to that setting. So here I'm gonna do a -40, and you can do the same thing for size and so on. So now I'm happy with how everything looks and everything is ready. Once that's done, I can generate renders for my entire range by clicking generate, and then I get to the generation section. And just like usual, I can add tokens, so I can choose the prefix that will help differentiate all of my renders. For example, the scenes will be named batch render, which I can add a dash, and then, for example, the product name. That way I'll be able to tell my renders apart every single time, and I can add any other tokens that I want to, and then I generate. And of course, since I'm generating a lot of renders at once, it'll take a little more time than generating just one render. And you can go back and head to the render section. Once the renders are ready, that's where you're gonna find your batch. So here I have my original render, but I also have a small indicator showing that I have 6 variants. So basically 6 renders generated from that first render. I can click on it and that's how I can find them. So here I have my original render, and underneath it, all the different variations of this scene with my different products. So I can click on each render and download them directly from here. And now you know how to use the batch feature on Omi.